Hi, it's Tim Hagen from Progress Coaching, and welcome to another episode for the Coaching Conversations podcast. Now, we are on Stitcher, we are on iTunes, and multiple different channels. Please check us out. Now, one of the things that you'll get out of our podcast episodes is a lot of content, a lot of strategy. It's not fluff, it's not concept, yet we really want you to engage with the content and let us know your feedback. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. If there's topics you'd love to have us address, we would love to share them with you. Let us know your impact and let us know your feedback.
I want to introduce all of you to a new concept called emotional interpretation. Now, I think, and we teach a course called Emotional Interpretation, The Great Storm Before Emotional Intelligence. Now, emotional intelligence is around self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, motivation, and social skills. Emotional interpretation is in the moment. How do we interpret things? We don't typically logically interpret things, especially when we hear things we don't like. So let's take feedback for a second. If we have an employee who says something to the gist of, my boss attacked me, think about the words that we often use. And I'll give you a great example. If an employee comes to a boss and a boss gives that person feedback and the employee doesn't agree with the feedback, what do? Do they go to their teammates and say, my boss gave me feedback I didn't agree with, but I'm really proud of he or she? No, what they typically do is they'll create their own narrative. My boss attacked me. My boss has it out for me. My boss never listens to me. And the fact of the matter is, especially in this day and age, giving people feedback is not fun. Now, here in the States, we're very politically divided. So when you have a Democrat and a Republican get together, especially with recent events of people being killed, it almost gets weaponized. Yeah, but he did this, or yeah, but she did this. And we don't simply listen to the other person. And it's tough, right? We're all guilty of this. And so emotional interpretation is around the concept of how do I interpret what's being said emotionally? Do I handle it calmly? Do I handle it volatilely? Do I handle it taking things out of context, etc.? Let me give you another example. When I was working at a local Wisconsin manufacturer, I had a young lady, Emily, who I just loved, and I've told this story a million times. She went for an interview. I'll never forget it. She went for an interview for an office job. She was not qualified for it. She had never turned on a computer. And so through the interaction, she quickly found out she was not going to be getting the job. So a couple of people in the lunchroom came up to her and said, "Oh, how was your interview?" She goes, "Oh, it wasn't very good. The guy who interviewed me just, it's like he attacked me the whole interview." And I sat there and I heard her and I stood behind her and I thought to myself, those are really aggressive words for a guy who probably knew you weren't ready for the position, took his time to interview you, that he attacked you. Now, it seems trite, right? Yet she was talking to three people. And what was their impression? What did they think they meant by attacked? And as I walked up behind her, the three ladies kind of notified her I was standing behind her. She turned around. She goes, "Oh, hey, I didn't know you were there." And I said, "So the guy attacked you? Like he got you in a headlock?" She starts laughing. She goes, "No, I just felt this." No. You just told these three ladies that he attacked you. How did he attack you? Did he give you noogies in the head? She goes, "Well, Tim, no, but I was just really upset." I said, No. I didn't ask how you felt. At this time, the three ladies quickly dissipated and left the conversation. I said, "Emily, you just told three people that a man attacked you." She goes, "Well, I just felt." I said, "I didn't ask how you felt." And I kept cutting her off. Not great coaching, but I didn't want her to fulfill the rest of her own narrative. She goes, "Well, he didn't really attack me. I was just upset." I said, "Right. So you're dealing with your emotions, which you transferred to his shoulders." I said, by 11 o'clock, that is going to get back to him because those three ladies are going to go say something to somebody. I said, "Do you think you were qualified for that job?" She said, "No." I said, "Why did he take his time to interview you?" "Well, I don't know." I said, "Why don't you go ask him?" So she went up, to her credit, fended off the rumor mill and said, "Look, I went in the lunchroom. I said some things I shouldn't have. I just wanted you to hear it from me. The guy goes, look, I'm really proud of you. I'm proud of you that you went through the interview process. You were clearly not ready for this position, but I really applauded you. And I told her, if the door opens itself, walk through it and say, would you mentor me? And that's exactly what happened. Yet, where did it start? It was taking something out of context because the emotional interpretation was creating an irrational next set of steps. Telling people that a guy who interviewed her attacked her, it happens every single day in the workplace. My boss never listens to me. Have you ever heard this one? He thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. Have you ever heard somebody announce to a group of people, just so everybody knows, I'm the smartest one in the room? We put our own labels on people. We take things out of context. I heard this the other day when someone said, oh, that other department, they don't care about us. And I went up to the young lady, I said, so when you said that, how do you know they all don't care about you? She goes, well, geez, you're taking this literally. I said, yes, I am. Because you just labeled a whole department. Let me go tell the department head that you said that, and then I'll get things cleared up. And I started to walk away, and then she got fearful. Then she got worried. So what do we do with emotional interpretation? There's a concept that we teach called RIAR, R-I-A-R. The first R is react. The second is the I, which we interpret. How am I feeling? The A is we actualize it, or we share it with other people. And the last R is reflection. The key is to start with reflection and reverse the R's, to take a deep breath and say, look, you just gave me some feedback. What other suggestions do you have for me? We have to interrupt that initial emotion. It is not easy. It is not easy. So when we are receiving things we don't like, we have to take a big, deep breath. We have to really think through for a second. Am I taking this out of context? Am I receiving this information well? And typically, let's be candid, we don't. So think about that as you go forward. Think about the thing that you can do to make it easy for other people to approach you, coach you, give you feedback. That will extend your personal brand.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Coaching Conversations by Tim Hagen and Progress Coaching. Now, our company is always coming out with new and innovative solutions to help leaders coach their employees. And recently, we just created a new service called Coach to You, where leaders can pick and choose topics and assign 7 to 21-day programs for employees to learn and, more importantly, apply actions and then reflect and share what they're going to do going forward as a result of the learning. It's called Coach to You. We're literally bringing coaching to your employees. If you're intrigued, we'll have a link in each one of our episodes where you can get more information. And again, thank you so much for listening to another episode.